Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lina, and today we're going to be playing book Jenga. So that's probably the chillest video I've ever made because I was just too lazy to show my face. Whoops. This is my TBR pile. So this is my nonfiction books. I have a lot of them because I just don't read that much nonfiction. So the first one is Magical Marxism by Andy Merrifield. It's a book that I bought in Book Culture in New York. It has those little tape thingies because I used it for a very cool challenge for the reading rush. It's still on my Instagram page. It's probably the coolest thing I've ever done. So if you want, you can check it out. It's about magic and Marxism. Yeah, wow. The next book is Qui a tué mon père de Édouard Louis, Who Killed My Father, and it's kind of about symbolic violence and social violence. The next book is Ex Libris by Anne Fadiman. It's one book that I bought in this amazing library in Boston, and yeah, it's a book about readers and loving to read. So it's very self-centered and it's beautiful. I haven't read it, So Putain by Nelly Arcan is kind of a semi-autobiographical novel about being a sex worker and other things. Nelly Arcan died by suicide in 2009 and it was the 10-year anniversary of her death. So I talked about this book in gender class and I got it. Then we have We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby, which is a book of essays about dating and life in general, like being an adult. I don't know. I love the cover. There's a cat on it. Seems like a fun book. Oh yeah. And I got it at South State Books in DC. Amazing place. Then there's this Kid Haring journals. So it's a nonfiction book, obviously. Those are journals, so you don't exactly read them in one take. But it's secondhand as well. Pretty cheap, I think around 10. It's really, those are actual extracts from his journal. And you have art. Oh yeah, those decal edges are very beautiful. You have art in the book. You have pictures as well. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, I love Keith Haring. I did a project on him a few months ago, a year ago, and yeah, I've been obsessed with him ever since. Then we have Bad Blood by John Carreyrou. It's about the Elizabeth, I forgot her last name, the Theranos lady who basically scammed the entire medical profession. And actually it's my father's book, but I intend to read it, so yeah, it's a big ass book. It's in French as well. I bought it in French because I couldn't find the English version. So then we have a self-portrait in letters, letters from Anne Sexton. I bought it at Goodwill. Unfortunately, I have learned since that Anne Sexton was a sexual abuser, and I will not be advertising her work, but I thought it would be honest to show that I did have this book. Then we have How to Turn Your Addiction to Prescription Drugs into a Successful Art Career. I got this book last week at an art museum bookshop, which are like they're irresistible. I haven't opened it yet, so I'll open it for you. Thank me later for the sexy ass ASMR sounds. Also, yeah, why did I get this book? First of all, the author is Dana Wise, and she has a really cool art series on prescription pills basically. And I don't know, it gave me huge Caroline Calloway vibes. It's also a bilingual edition, which I don't really need because I am bilingual, but like, you never know. That's always useful. I can share it with like my dad. Yeah, there's pictures, there's a lot of text, interviews. Looks fun. Yeah. There's also, I don't know why I did that. There's also a lot of like Canadian imagery. Oh, and it's a hardcover and it has like this soft hardback. Yeah. So moving on to the theater section, it's only one book. So this is La Machine Infernale de Jean Cocteau. I've never read Cocteau and I don't know what it's about. It's a play. I got it from this amazing bookshop in Boston. I got it secondhand from Ellen O'Brien, really cheap. And I just really love that there are annotations in this book. That's mostly why I buy secondhand, in the hopes that I will like discover little bits of someone else's life. I think it's very cool. Now we are moving on to the poetry section. This is quite a short section as well. It's only 2 books. We have Rimbaud, Une saison en enfer et Illumination. So Rimbaud was really involved in a very problematic love affair with another French poet, Verlaine. And also I love his style. He has prose and verse. I got it secondhand. It cost me like €2. That's amazing. I love secondhand bookshops. And I'm really excited to read more poetry, especially more French poetry. And yeah, the next book is one that I have talked about. It's Aimé Césaire, Anthology. It's an anthology of his works that was created by, yeah, the man I'm pointing right now. Yep. I got it secondhand. And yeah, I just think that he's done a lot of cool work for Black people in France and French Overseas Department, and even like in Africa. I think he's like the coolest dude ever. There are pictures as well. Really cool guy. And yeah, I can't wait to get to read it. And you should read it too. Next category is fiction. Then we have the huge anticipated release, Call Down the Hulk by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know why I took this accent, but yeah, you know what it is. This is the UK version. I know I have the hardback, and the UK version is just so pretty in pink, so I had to have it. And yeah, I can't wait to get to read it. Maybe one day I'll finish my reread of the Raven Cycle. Then we have Going Bovine by Libbre, who's like book trip darling. This is a book on road trips, kind of unusual road trip. I love that, so can't wait to read it. Then we have The Merciless by Daniel Vega. Looks very satanic. Look, that's such a great detail. I'm obsessed with it. It has those culty supernatural vibes, which are absolutely 100% me. Like, look at the back. Forgive us, Father, for we have sinned. Like, give me this. Yes. Then we have Frankenstein in Baghdad by Ahmed Saadawi. So this was a book that I should have read for a class on post-colonial literature, but I ended up dropping out of the semester, so I never ended up reading it. But it does seem like a very interesting book. I love Frankenstein retellings. I love the morality in it. And I love the fact that it's happening in Baghdad and it's taking like basically a morsel of like British imperialism and exporting it. And yeah, so definitely in my goals to read more diverse authors. Then we have Season of Migration to the North by Tayeb Salih. It's also from my post-colonial literature class, but it's basically about a story which happens in Sudan. An immigrant who went to study in Europe comes back after the decolonization process. So yeah, I love this end paper, it's so pretty. It's a translated book, so it really falls into my goals for 2020, and it seems really cool, and I'm excited to read it. Oh look, there are like little notes. That's amazing. See, this is why you should buy your books secondhand, because you get gifts. I don't know. Then we have Men in the Sun by Ghassan Kanafi. Um, it's like a collection of short Palestinian stories. I got it used. I think I meant to do a joke about used, and that's why I pointed it so much. But I am not doing that. I am being very normal right now. That's good. We can't say anything. It's overexposed. Wow. Good job. Then we have the classics. So this is Salammbô by Gustave Flaubert, who wrote one of my favorite books of all time. This is one of his first novels that was kind of not critically acclaimed. This is only the first part, which is annoying, but it's not like I can read a book in such a state. It's very, very like second, probably third hand. It has the deckled edges as well. It's so fragile, I don't think I can read it. It's like for decoration. Then we have Du côté de chez Swann, so by Marcel Proust, Swann's Way. He's like, do I even need to say it? This book is huge. It's only the first part of it. Like, I will die before I read this book. But I want to, but I probably won't. Then we have La Clos, les liaisons dangereuses. I think it was adapted into a very saucy book. Movie, I mean. So yeah, it's for 80. I don't know why I'm saying that, because my brother bought it and I stole it from him. I mean, borrowed it, sorry. Yeah, it's epistolary novel, so I think it's a format that I don't read enough, and it seems to be pretty saucy for the year it was written in. Then we have Steinbeck, The Grapes of Wrath, but in French. I got it from a little free library in exchange for a Game of Thrones book. I talked about it on my Bookstagram as well. And yeah, it's pretty beaten up, but I'm really excited to get to read it and finally give it back to the little free library. Then we have Carrie by Stephen King. I think it classifies as a horror classic. His first novel, yeah, has like the adaptation from Brian De Palma, which is very good. I really loved it. And just generally, I 100% chose this cover because it was the prettiest one and like the least cheesy one. It really screams like horror and blood. I'm really excited to get to read it. I am worried about the misogyny, like in every Stephen King, but who knows. Then we have Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. The book with the movie that every film bro misinterprets. Is that it? God. Yeah, it's like critically acclaimed. It's like a modern classic. I also bought this edition because look at this. Like, look at this. Just looks so good. Yeah. I mean, I already know what happens in it, but I really wonder what it's like to read it. Then we have, of course, The Odyssey by Homer, and it's notable that this one is the translated by Emily Wilson one, so I think it kind of qualifies as a work of translation and written by a woman. I don't know. It has those amazing decal edges that I'm obsessed with, and I just think like this edition is beautiful. I'm really excited to get to read it. It's been featured on this channel already. And what else? So now I'm flipping pages because I want to find something specific, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, it has maps, which is very cool. Everyone loves maps in books, even though I have no spatial awareness, but it's nice. Oh, and of course, the first sentence is just like, tell me about a complicated man. Like, that's just cream of the crop. So this is the tuna melt I was eating, hence the voiceover. But yeah, I hope you like this video. You can leave a thumbs up or a comment if you have any questions or recommendations. And I will see you soon. Bye. Rainy day.